Hey, book reader friends. Welcome to Tattahagro Reads. I am Christy, and I am excited to talk to you about my May TBR and the couple of May releases that are coming out. So grab your coffee or your tea and let's dive in. We're diving right on in. So the books that I'm excited for May aren't that many. I'm actually highly disappointed in how few books are out in the month of May. So the ones I'm liking and are excited for so far, obviously I don't have any of them, so I'll put photos up somewhere. The Devils by Abercrombie. The release date is May 13th. There is a sneak peek that I read, which is what helped me make a decision that I made recently on this book. And it was so freaking good. I'm going to date myself here by saying that it kind of gave me that dark heaven and hell feeling of the prophecy from way back in the day from Christopher Walken's movie. I'm dating myself and I'm sorry, I guess. I don't know if I'm really sorry or not, but it gave me that feel, that vibe of just the heaven and hell, good and evil. I'm very excited about that book. So to the point where I ordered my husband and I both editions from the Broken Binding. I want to make sure I actually got their name correct. It's a special edition. It's beautiful. I'll put a photo up here of it. It is going to have some decent art in it and that I'm very excited for. And the cover is slightly different and it's beautiful. Not that the cover that's standard with it isn't dope, because it is. The red with the skull on it is phenomenal. But the sneak peek is for free on Kindle. And if you don't have a Kindle, download the app either for your PC or for your phone. It works fantastically. You can zoom into the font or zoom out. And I would highly recommend it. It's free, so why not? I don't think my husband's actually going to do the sneak peek though, because I don't think he wants to spoil it for himself. This will be actually, by that time, it might be my second book by the time it comes out, but my first book by Abercrombie that I've actually read. We'll go more into that with my TBR in just a moment. The second book that I'm excited for is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. The One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. Two Twisted Crowns made me cry. And I will say that it is very rare that I cry to a book. I think I've cried maybe one or two other times in my life reading books. Book two made me cry. So until she has like several books that let me down, I will buy her books before I even really know what they're about. This one is a May 20th release date. It's the Stonewater Kingdom series, book one, and it's supposed to be an immersive fantasy that I actually can't wait to find out what that means. I'm excited for that. The cover's a little, I'm still, if you watched my last video, you already know the cover with the hair across the face. I'm still having issues with that cover. So if I end up loving it and a special edition comes out, which it did of One Dark Window and book Two Twisted Crowns, I will probably buy it. You know, I just did a video saying that I need to stop buying the special editions, and that's not true. It's just this cover's that ugly. And I'm so sorry to the artist. I really am. And maybe once I read the book, I'm like, this cover is it. It makes sense. I don't know. But it's supposed to be immersive fantasy. I'm here for it. Again, that's May 20th. The third book is a book that I'm not sure if I'm going to buy. If I do, it's just because it matches the first edition I have, or the first copy I have of book one. And that's A Curse Carved in Bone. It's book two of the Saga Unfated. I am at a point where I need to read book one, but the YouTube universe and book talk has been so back and forth if it's good or not. I'm actually kind of like at the point where I just kind of want to go ahead and let it go and let someone else enjoy it. But I don't know. But someone else out there is probably excited. Maybe you don't know that it's releasing, so I hate to not mention it. There are many others actually coming out in May. It's just that they're not books that I'm going to read. This one I may, so I wanted to include it in the list. And it was a popular book when book one came out, which was A Fate in Ink and Blood. I don't think I mentioned the title of the first book. And it was popular. Everyone loved the cover. Everyone's excited. And then all of a sudden you started hearing people not so happy about it. But you know, just to go ahead and get book one and two to match, that I might go ahead and get it. If you're excited, that comes out May 15th. So actually not that far away. All right, next topic, what I just finished, The Sirens. This will not be an in-depth full review because I don't think that's, that would make this video very long if I did both today of a TBR and a book review. But I do want to say a couple things. It's a feminism book, but it's not male bashing or male hating, even though a big theme of the book is dealing with men that do harm. And because I mentioned that part, I want to say trigger warning. If you have a sensitivity to reading certain materials, and they can trigger you, I highly recommend going and looking into that to find out what those trigger warnings are. I don't want to mention it here because in my opinion, it is a kind of a spoiler, theme spoiler, and a storyline plot spoiler. And I don't want to do that to anyone that doesn't get triggered by those things. I don't want to take that away from you. It might be a thing you love. There's definitely books that I've read that my daughter's just like, what are you reading? What is actually wrong with you? And so these don't bother me. It's a book, for some reason, I don't get triggered by them. Not that I don't have my history, because I do, but I don't get triggered by the books, but someone else might. So please go look into those trigger warnings. It is dealing with sirens, things that happen to these women that they're having to go through basically 3 time periods, the 1800s. Technically 2019 is the current year, and we flash back to 1999. And then we also have the parallel storyline of the 1800s. And 2019, it's just been fantastic that, you know, it was a book that threw in some serious suspense to the point where I actually had to go back and look. I was like, is this a suspense story? Before I finished, I was like, is this supposed to be just a mystery? But then I was like, wait, there's sirens though. Come on. This obviously isn't historical fiction, but it was a very interesting read. It had moments of flourish and fantastic writing that just did make the book enjoyable for me, but I rated it a 4-star off of writing. Off of plot, I probably would have went a little lower, but we're going to leave it at, I rated it a 4-star, mostly because of the writing. The plot wasn't for me, and I think that's really the pacing of the plot and how it unfolded so slowly. I was reading that along with Bone Ships, and both of those books were slow burns. It was killing me. So in the Siren's defense and the Bone Ship's defense, those were just great books at the wrong time for me. And that takes me into my TBR for May. The first book is, we're going to actually do these out of order, but Bone Ships is the first book that I want to talk about because we just talked about the fact this was a slow burn. I need to finish this in my May for my May TBR. It is a slow burn. I am listening to it. The characters feel younger than I expected because of the narration. I wish I had waited a minute and went ahead and read this on my Kindle or even in paper. I have the time now. School is only got literally days left. 2 days after today, actually. So by the time you're watching this, I actually might be done because I think I'm gonna post this one on Sunday. I posted last week's on Saturday, and I'm trying to find that spot where it doesn't get lost in the algorithm because I posted it sooner than I probably should have. Not that we really care about the algorithm necessarily. I just want to be able to get content in front of you though. And if it's lost, you never get to see these. And the Bone Ships is something I will come back to in May. I am enjoying it. So I'm really mad about the slow burn. And I think it's just, again, I'm going to say it again, right book, wrong time. I have just finished 2 books of Robin Hobbs that are slow. The Sirens was slow. This was slow. And so while I'm not in a rut, I'm in a spot where I need some action. And I did take a break for Riley Sager's A House Across the Lake. And I needed, that was fantastic. So I'm actually hopeful that, you know, coming back to this, it'll be good pacing. The other book, which I don't own, is The Artificial Condition by Martha Wells. I'm watching his serials and he says he deleted all the porn files basically. And it made me laugh. It just, so far, it's had moments of giggle. And I've only read or listened to book 1. And I will already say that this series is probably going to be a 5-star series for me. Let's make that prediction now. A 5-star series. There's only a couple of those for me. One of those is the Red Rising series and the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb. We'll see. But we're going to keep it coming because I'm going to try to get those done before the series releases, before the TV show does. I want to actually understand when my husband's ready to watch it, what's going on. The next book. So we're back on track. The Witch King. This one I bought at Half Price Books. It was done by Illumicrate. So the inside is gorgeous. And I'm sorry, I had left on the face tracking, so it's getting obnoxious. The sprayed edges are really pretty. I just noticed this. They just did this purple, this side, they did a design on. I'm looking forward to this because of Murderbot series. I am loving character-driven plots, and I expect no different from this book. I haven't decided if I'm going to do immersion reading with this one yet. The Murderbot series on audio is so wonderful that I can't help but to think that this one would be too. and just to kind of keep me on pace, because I've got some heavy reading for May. This one's a little over 400 pages. Murderbot's going to be audiobook, so that one's a quick, easy breezy book. I'm going to finish The Bone Ships probably through audiobook. The next book, because I need something slightly different, and it is supposed to be brutal and compelling, and as one reviewer at the time said, there is a gritty edge to the world and awareness of the human cost of violence that is very contemporary. I'm hopping on this bandwagon. I am so excited. And that's why I say The Devils may be book one, but it may not be, because if I finish this before The Devils gets here, which I would make myself wait to read The Devils until I finish this, I think they're going to be way two different storylines. I don't think there's going to be any like worry about crossover. You know how some writers stay in their world, basically, and you can actually accidentally get books kind of confused when you're reading both at the same time. I think this one's going to be slightly different and out of that, so I'm not too worried. But because this one's supposed to be kind of intense and gritty, I am hoping I'm hoping it helps me not feel like I'm just in a fantasy loop this month, because with Bone Ships, Witch King, and the Murderbot series, which Murderbot's more sci-fi, so maybe I'll be okay. I'm worried about getting stuck too heavily in fantasy, and I might even listen to book 3 of the Farseer trilogy and finish that off. But I just need a little mixture here. I don't read just one genre. So I'm excited. I don't know anything really about that book other than that it really was popular. That series was. My husband has the other series by him, and then I have this one. It was an accident. The last book on my TBR for May. I'm only allowed to read one self-help book a quarter. That has been my rule, because a few years back, I read so many self-help books and so many business books that I got to where I was physically nauseous, and I would have to immediately turn away from those sections of Barnes & Noble and go somewhere else, which I think it helped lead me into reading fantasy books, something that was quite different, because I would read historical fiction at the time, and what else? Self-help at the time, business books at the time, and then I'll get there in a second, but suspense, murder mysteries, that kind of thing. Love a good coroner story. I think they're fantastic. I hit the mics, so that's probably gonna be really loud, but coroner stories are absolutely my thing. AJ Rivers does a lot of Kindle Unlimited books on Amazon. They're mindless reads. They're not that great, but you can't help but to get invested quickly and finish the books quickly. So I love them. So that's what I was reading a lot. But now that I've gotten through feeling triggered anymore, this one I need. School's getting ready to end. I'm great at a budget, but I'm not fantastic at saving. What happens to my savings is that I spend on books, and I'm not joking. So I want to get better at saving and investing, learning, just a little bit more about my financial health, and making 2025 the rest of the year, and 2026 a year of getting it right. I'm great at a budget. Our bills get paid, but I could learn more. I could be better. That is it on our May TBR. I think that's enough. I hope this is a 5-week month. I really do. And so we're going to make this a close. Thank you for being here. As always, I really appreciate you being here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it, subscribe, turn the bell on so you can get notified when I post. Right now, I am trying for the rest of the year to post weekly, hopefully on Sundays, maybe Saturdays, but currently Sundays. And you'll get notified if you turn that bell on. But thank you, and have a great weekend. Bye.